it's a much nicer place to go, because when you do litigation, which is what you want to do there, not only have to deal with the time pressures of getting everything done, you have another side, the adversary saying everything you're doing is wrong, you're lying to the court, you're misrepresenting this, you don't know what you're talking about. You get these assholes on the other side just beating it all the time, and the last thing you want is to have your own team fighting among you. So Finnegan was nice because it's more collegiate, because they share the money. Things have changed in Finnegan, unfortunately, right now. It's not as good as it used to be. It's still a prestigious firm, but they're getting more to the educational system there. So one lesson in law is to, when you look for the firm you want to be in, you want to find and see how they actually share things. The other important lesson in law is there's only one goal in law, and that's the clients. And if you have the clients, you will always have a job. You may have a job at the same firm, but you will always have a job if you have the clients locally. If you don't have clients, you can be the most fantastic lawyer that's out there, the most skillful lawyer, the best brief writer, you know, most about case law. You're going to struggle with it. You're not going to make as much as somebody who actually has the clients. And unfortunately, law doesn't necessarily have loyalty. I've got a friend, Patent Box was the first firm I started with. When I was there was a guy who was about a year or two ahead of me. And he stayed with the firm. He's been at the firm now 25 years, something like that. He never had the clients. Great lawyer, very sharp, some of the best common sense and intuition about what a judge needs to see, what's really going on, who's hiding the ball, great gut instincts of what to do there, but never had clients. Patent Box is having huge trouble right now. They'll probably step away from bankruptcy. He's been in that firm for 25 years, and he got fired. In 25 years, he never made him an equity partner. He was made a non-equity partner. First, they knocked down his pay a little bit, and then eventually he got laid off after being in the firm for 25 years. That's a long time. So, and if he had a client base, he would have been fine. Because if you have a client base and you don't like the way your partners treat you, screw the hell out of you. You can start your own firm. You can come to a firm there. If you have a client, paying clients that want to follow you there, very often other firms will open the doors, all come on in there. So in law enforcement, clients are very, very important. My personal story about the partnership track, I started out with, say, Patent Box, general practice firm, stayed there for 3 years, then I went to another firm called Reed Smith. They were a big general practice firm in Pittsburgh, but they had a patent department. So I joined their patent group. That's where I got to actually learn about patent law. Then after 3 years, I left them and I went to Finnegan, which is like a patent firm. That's what it was. So I went upstream. I started from a general practice firm to general practice with a small patent department to a specialized firm. Most people do the other way around. It's a lot easier doing the other way around. So if you guys really are interested in IP and going to IP law, you want to do it the other way around. Otherwise, you're paddling upstream. But when I was there, I'll tell you how I got there. Oh yes, okay. So I was there, and within Finnegan, I kind of did my thing about the case law. I write this book there, so I read all these cases. More cases than we should in the right mind read. So I pretty much know the patent law inside and out. So within that law firm setting, they would come to me when they had tough questions on patent law, or they'd have these very, very tough time frames. They had one situation where they had a major client, the brief was due, the client sees the brief and says, I don't like it. The brief has to be rewritten. They call me up and say, the brief has to be rewritten. I don't know anything about the project. I have to rewrite the brief in like 12 hours to send it to the Fifth Circuit. So I take everything, go home, and write it and do it. Something similar, they had a Supreme Court brief they were working on, and their case guru got appendicitis. So I could pull him last like a week to write the brief and send it in there. So within that firm there, they liked my expertise. They used me for that. So they used me when it was a very tight deadline or too complex for a regular associate to do. But by doing it that way, I kind of worked on my own. The typical business model in law is a leveraging model. So you're going to have a partner who then supervises 2 or 3 senior associates, who then supervise some junior associates. It's a giant pyramid. Each of those associates bill. So collectively, those associates are billing more than what the partner is. Even the partner's billing out $1,000 an hour. If you've got 3 or 4 associates billing out $500 an hour, they do 100 or more hours there, we get more revenue that way. So they like the leverage model. With me, what I was doing was very complex, very time-consuming. I couldn't have associates under me because they didn't know the stuff to do, and I had time to teach them. So it was too complex, it was too quickly. So I had no leverage. So being the cold-hard business that law is, they decided that when I was a for equity partnership, not to make an equity partner, even though I had trees. So here I'm somebody who was considered very knowledgeable in law, didn't have the client base, and was kind of working as my own unique person there. And they're like, well, that's a business model, so we're not going to make an equity partner. So I put up for 2 years, and I said, hell, I can go my own and do better. And when you're with the firm, you bill out 500 an hour, maybe more. You get paid maybe a third of that, and a third goes to the partners, and a third goes to the expenses. And you mind your own, you keep it all. So that bill made it kind of much nicer that way. All right, so that's kind of where I am right now. And now what I do is I write mostly the book. I have a consulting practice where what I do is lawyers who are working on patent litigation and they have questions about the patent law, they come to me and I help them on that. It's nice that way because I don't have to sit there and deal with the billable hour pressures. If you work in an associate big firm, you're going to be expected to bill at least $1,800, probably $2,000. If you're at some firms like a Kirkland Ellis or some others, they're expected to be doing $2,500, $2,700. Basically, 50, 60-hour weeks are normal. All-nighters are not unusual. I never did an all-nighter at Tech for any type of schoolwork. Drinking's a different story. Schoolwork, never. Never did an all-nighter on a graduate program. Never did an all-nighter in law school. Never did an all-nighter when I worked as an engineer. I was going to do for 3 years before, or 4 years actually, before school. Many all-nighters as a lawyer, something back to back. I went on one hearing where we got a 70-page opposition brief at 5 o'clock in the evening, boarded a train from DC to Philadelphia, reading the brief so we can get a response together, check us into the Four Seasons Hotel, beautiful hotel, probably one of the nicest rooms I've ever been in, drop the bags off, go to the local counsel's office, which was another law firm in like the 7th floor tower somewhere. Got there about 9 o'clock, left there at 7 in the morning. Never ordered cheese plate at 12 o'clock in the evening, because by 7 in the morning it really stinks. They had that in the conference room. Oh, it was bad. So leave at 7 o'clock in the morning, get to go back to the hotel, take a shower, back to local council office by 8 o'clock, or around o'clock again. It got so bad that, and there's 2 nights that way. At that second night, we had one of the members of the team was Orthodox Jewish, and he couldn't work from sundown on Friday night to sundown on Saturday. So we were working over the weekend. He's back in the hotel during that time, sleeping. He comes in Saturday night, all Friday, bushy tail. Hey, how's everyone doing there? We've already been up 24 hours straight. We're going on the second one there. And I'm working on him with something about 4 in the morning. And I have this paper in front of me with 3 paragraphs. I'm just reading one sentence. Going to read the sentence, and he's going to copy it. Right in the middle of reading it, head goes down. A friend of mine's in another chair. He's sitting there. Next thing I know, and he's just down. He's just down. And so, yes, there's a lot of money in law, but there's a lot of effort. So no one should go into law just for the money. You gotta like it and work very hard. All right, I've talked too much, so why don't I start answering questions? Who wants to go first? Question?
I have a question. So it's in regard to strength of law schools.
Mm-hmm.
So let's say I have a friend who has a guaranteed job after law school. Should he go to a law school that maybe has a night program, or should he go to a law school that's the best program that he can get into?
You say he has a guaranteed job?
Yes.
Does he want to stay in that job for a long part of his career, or just?
I think he would want to go to an IP boutique.
Okay. All right, your friend. All right. There's a lot of, for economic reasons, it makes sense to try to do law school at night. But law is extremely snobby. I had a chance to do a nighttime law school when I was first able to do there. And the partner from McGuire Woods told me, don't do it. If you do nighttime law school, I couldn't even hire you. And he was the same part of McGuire Woods. So a lot of times, big firms will look down on night school. Even though a night school program at George Washington. No, not George Mason, there's another one indeed, Georgetown. Georgetown has an extremely competitive night program. so competitive that the students will sit there and rip pages out of books and the students can't read it. It's really ridiculous how competitive it is. But there is a stigma associated with going to a nighttime law school. It doesn't make any sense, but there is. Legal employers don't know what the hell they're doing. When you're an engineer, you get your first engineering job, they look to see the quality of the school you went to and your course program. You work an engineer 2 years, you go to apply for another engineering job. The first question they want to know is, what did you do in the last 2 years? What were your analysis, what you worked on? They want to see the current things you're doing. After you're out of school 4 or 5 years as an engineer, the quality of the school you go to is like a secondary consideration. It's one of the last things they ask about. Law school, you can be out 10 years. The first thing they ask about is, what law school did you go to, and what was your rank in that law school? It's asinine, because after 10 years or more, it's a matter of what have you learned to be a lawyer? How good are your legal reasoning skills? How good are you read? How good are your presentation skills in front of the judge, if that's what you're doing? They don't know how to grade it, so they look purely at the quality of the school and what they think its caliber is there. And so that follows you around forever, pretty much there. So between a chance of a nighttime school and a daytime school, take the daytime school as you can. I know it'd be nice to sit there. I mean, if you can financially swing it, if you can't, you can't. It's not saying that you can't ever get into a big firm, but it is easier to get to a big firm if you have a degree from a daytime program, because they think that you devote more time to the stuff you like to do that. Do I think that rings true? No, I don't. But I will say, when I did my master's, I did that in the evening, and I worked full time as an engineer during the day. That was much more difficult than going to law school during the day. People say about how difficult law school is. It's not difficult to do the work. You just go, you do the reading, and you pay attention, and you do the best you can there. And then the other thing you realize is that law school is a little bit, it's weird in its own right. The way it generally works is, law school tries to teach you how to think as a lawyer. And so how to think like a lawyer is generally, how to see multiple sides of things. Most engineers use black and white, plug each other together, formally crank it up and off you go. So you're used to doing the straightforward thing. And when I first got out, I was practicing, and they were like, my friends said, Bob, everything's used black and white. 3 years later, it's like, now you see gray and everything. You see small little crack, you're ready to drive a truck through it. So it's kind of a process going here. So law school tries to teach you how to supposed to think like a lawyer. So part of it's analytical reasoning ability, and part of it's understanding policy stuff. What gets really screwed up in law school is what they reward and what they penalize. There's a joke at UVA. Those who got A's became law professors. Those who got B's became millionaires, and those who got C's became public defenders. And the reason why they had that joke was that law school reward, very often law school, the people who are teaching you, they ace law school themselves. And after they ace law school, they went and they clerked, generally at federal appellate court, and in some cases, the next year they clerked at the Supreme Court. They're considered the ultimate honor for a legal education career to clerk at the Supreme Court. And after they do that, they come and they teach. Very rare to have many law professors that actually work as practicing lawyers for a long period of time. So they're more used to academic stuff. So when you get in the law school exam, which something called spot the issues, and you guys have taken some of the courses here, and I forget the name of the program, but you should exam each of them there.
Yeah, it's a side area, like science engineering program.
Right. So in that one, you'll get exposed to some type of legal theory and legal analysis kind of stuff that way. So you go in these tests that spot the issues. And I remember the one example I had from my career. I was taking a course in property, and there's a question about how you get rid of an easement. An easement is a right to use someone else's property or something. A lot of times it's a right to walk somewhere, and it's a path you can take there. And so the question was how to get rid of an easement. So I write my answer up there, and I all the ways about how you get rid of an easement. I get my test back, and I got a B on it. Nothing's marked wrong, so I go talk to the best I can. What didn't you like about it? Well, here's the A answer. The A answer talked about where does easements come from? How do you get them? Then how are they enforced? And then how do you break them? And I'm saying, if a client came in and was paying me by the hour, and I sit there and tell them about where an easement came from, all this other stuff that's not germane to their problem, they'll fire me. And she goes, that's right. Law school rewards you for things you do in the real world you get punished for, and punishes you for things you do in the real world you get rewarded for. That's when I just threw up my hands and grades don't matter. I just want to just get through and get my B. I'm not going to worry about it, And so But unfortunately,